Good morning, folks. My name is Tim Ayler. Today is Thursday, 29th of January, right? We're getting towards the end of the month, and persistent cold air and Arctic air is going to push into the south, in addition to an impact of a winter storm along the eastern seaboard this weekend. And we have some heavy, moderate to heavy rainfall moving on shore out west here as well, and some snow in middle part of the country with the coldest temps of North Dakota, Minnesota, and in the Northeast and Midwest here. Even cold down to the south here, even Miami 55 this morning. So pretty cold. I appreciate you watching this video and taking the time to listen to me talk about what I love, the weather. And welcome to my channel. Like the video if you like it, subscribe, share with your friends, and if you feel compelled, you can donate either Cash App or PayPal. So with that, let's get started with the current hazards. Here are the current hazards for the continental US here. It disappeared on me, which it does if I move it. Hopefully they'll come back here in a second. But yeah, I'm using this website because it helps to pick this a little better. But anyway, let's put the legend on here. So we have winter storm watches in parts of Georgia, South Carolina, most of South Carolina, most of North Carolina. This may be, you can't see these other ones, right? But I'm sure, let's just hover over this here, see what's going on here. Winter storm watch, right? Cold weather advisory, right? Cold weather advisory all in the east, northeast as well. Take this off of there. All right. Cold weather advisory in the like light blue color here. Maybe a dark blue, I guess you would call it. This is where your winter storm warnings are also in the um, North Carolina, South Carolina mountains. And then you have cold weather, extreme cold watch out here, parts of Alabama, Mississippi, parts of Louisiana. Cold weather advisory for the southeast here in Louisiana. Wind special weather statement here. Wonder what's going on with this. Freezing fog, winter weather, freezing fog. Um, right, from moisture trapped at the surface here. Same thing up here in St. Louis, right? Let's see what's going on here. Extreme cold warning in the Appalachians here. So that's not good. And you have cold weather advisory and some winter weather advisories. Small craft advisory, lake effect snow warning along the lee side of lakes here. Winter storm warning around Lake Superior. What's going on out here? It looks like a winter weather advisory. Uh, South Dakota, Wyoming, and out west, flood watch. Interesting. And we got some air quality issues going on. Dense fog here in the valley, right? And coastal flood advisory here along the coast of California. So most of the hazards are along the east coast here, eastern U.S., which is the way it's been going, right? But yeah, so these are current hazards. So here's a graphic from the National Weather Service Atlanta. This was updated yesterday afternoon or evening, which I think is still pretty relevant right now. But they may update this later. So snow will be most likely here, generally east of the I-75 corridor, but less likely further to the west, although the chances are not zero, right? So highest probabilities of travel impacts will be in the same areas as received freezing rain and other impacts just last weekend. So if they're still recovering from that, we need to be mindful of that, right? So of course, no freezing rain with this event. It'll be all snow. And it'll likely remain cold. It'll remain cold. So anything that does fall will be impactful here. In addition to that, we're going to have a prolonged time period where temperatures will be below 32, especially in North Georgia, almost 60 hours. even Macon area 40 hours. So um, Friday night all through the weekend. So very unusual for temperatures to remain below freezing for this long, especially for middle Georgia, okay, and South Georgia even. So in addition to potential snow, we have extreme cold here. So you got to be prepared for this weekend. As far as temperatures today, not too bad. Highs in the generally a low 40s to low 50s to mid 50s for the south, partly cloudy. Tonight, mostly below freezing for all the state, partly cloudy skies. So wherever, if it's more cloudy than expected, the temperatures may be a little higher. Then tomorrow, which is Friday, generally pretty much the same, low 40s to mid to upper 50s as you go further south. And rain chances increase a little bit, but not that high, with mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies here. So here are the wind gusts expected for the weekend for most of Georgia here. So generally tomorrow not that windy, right? But going into Saturday, wind gusts 20, 30 miles per hour will lead to extremely dangerous, very dangerous wind chill values. And we'll go over that next. But you can see how the winds will pick up right into 20, 30 mile per hour range all through Sunday as well. And eventually into Monday, the winds will slack off some. But coupled with the cold temperatures, we're going to have very low wind chill values on Saturday and Sunday. So here's your Georgia 15-day temperature outlook. You see, temps in the 50s, and then Saturday not getting above freezing, and maybe getting above freezing on Sunday, but the winds are going to be howling these couple days, right? And we warm up, but then cool off again, then warm up and maybe get slightly above normal or near normal as we get towards the middle of February. But you can see the temperatures here, these for lows, are still trending below normal until we get towards the middle of February. So it's going to take quite a while to warm up here. This is 15 days out, so we have a lot of cold weather to contend with in the coming days. So here's a little key messages for the prolonged extreme cold. As the cold air pushes to the south again after the snow along and when the snow moves through. So long duration event in a long time, and prolonged cold could lead to burst pipes, just a lot of different travel related problems with snow on the ground. So got to be mindful of this in the coming days. So here's the latest key messages for eastern winter snow, right? We've been talking about this for several days now. And here's the chance for at least moderate snowfall impacts. The highest possibilities are here into most of eastern North Carolina here. Point southward, less likely. But anywhere we get snow here, because how cold it's going to be, we're going to have impactful travel. Potentially blizzard, approaching blizzard criteria along the coast here with wind gusts near hurricane force. All right, so hopefully this won't happen, but it can be incredibly, almost impossible to travel here. You can see the impacts are less certain further up the coast here, but right along the eastern seaboard needs to keep watch on this and see how it evolves. So I wanted to show you this graphic here. This shows the probability of exceeding blizzard criteria derived from the SPC, HREF, and WPC models, right? Um, so the highest probability of exceeding blizzard criteria is right along the southeast coast, around the coastal areas of North Carolina, maybe South Carolina here, depending on where this sets up. But see the probabilities increase on Sunday overnight here. Even, geez, it's going to be very close, guys. So where this low cranks up, we could potentially have a blizzard here right along the Outer Banks here. of North Carolina, which would be incredible to see. Snow on the Outer Banks like that. That's crazy, but reminds me of the blizzard warning in New Orleans we had last year. So see what happens here. So from a perspective of models, the NAM 12 kilometers where we're going to start here. And this is the NAM is a nested model, right? So a little explanation about that. You have your 12 kilometer that has a less spatial range, 12 kilometers, okay, not as much resolution. And then the 3 kilometer, which is nested within the 12 kilometers, so that gives you your better spatial resolution, right? So if we zoom this out, all right, see how the NAM 12 kilometer ingests data from outside the continental US, and the NAM 3 kilometer only ingests data or plots it for the US. So there's data being fed into the NAM 3 kilometer from the 12 kilometer. It helps it derive its solutions, right? So I just wanted to talk about that, explain a little bit, and we'll go back to the east here. 18Z, snow band up here in the north. This is the NAM 12 kilometer, okay? Remember I said this is the well, less spatial resolution, okay? See how it wants to develop some bands here into parts of South Central Georgia, Middle Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina on Saturday, okay? Gets it going here in North Carolina, South Carolina, along the Carolina coast, right? The low develops pretty far offshore here. Maybe an intense band getting going here as it moves out, right? It almost looks like there's some kind of mid-level feature that's helping enhance this because the low surface low is way out here. And this solution kind of makes a left turn when you get further up here. So we'll look at 700 millibars and see what we got. So here's the 700 millibars. Remember the dry areas in brown, more moisture in like the purples and greens and things like that. Don't have the 06Z, the full extent of this run yet. Interesting. Oh, yes, we do. I just didn't refresh the page. So anyway, this low swings through. And you can see why the NAM 3 kilometer is doing what it's doing, because the NAM 12 kilometer is seeing the same thing here. So it's a little bit further north, and you see it develops this, looks like it's have a trough, maybe extending from this surface low all around to the east coast of North Carolina or Cape Hatteras here, which is enhancing the snowfall there, right? Almost like a secondary low center here. Interesting. So looks like some energy left over at the mid levels is enhancing this right here. So I don't know. That's kind of a micro feature, if you will. But you see, this wants to swing it back to the west a little bit and bring some snow along the New England coastline here. So, but yeah. So those are all. This is the beginning of the model analysis, and we're going to go over the NAM 3 kilometer. The European models, AI and operational, as well as the GFS and GFS operational, right, and the AI as well, and the Canadian model. So now that we're in range of the NAM 3 kilometer, we're going to utilize this a little bit more, but we're basically towards the last frame of this is where the snow really gets going here. So this is 1 p.m. Friday. Snow band up to the north, which has been consistent amongst most of the models here in the Carolina mountains, right? And then you have the snow really cranking up here. And what you can see at the beginning of this is maybe some energy in central Georgia, all the way to the Alabama border, but maybe just some light snow or flurries or light rain as that cold air pushes to the south, or that disturbance moves through, right? You see this really gets going with the low just offshore here, 1,000 millibars, North Carolina, South Carolina, parts of Virginia. Pretty nice snowfall totals here, right? So how does that look at 700 millibars? Let's take a look. So here's your 700 millibar plot, right? Relative humidities at with the NAM 3 kilometer. Let's go to the latest run. Okay, let's see it translate through here, right? See how far north it is compared to the most of the other models are a lot further south here. So let's go back. Well, we can't really go back anymore. This is the end of its temporal range. Let me see if we can go back a little bit. One run. Yeah, it was a little further to, I don't know. It's really hard to tell here. But yesterday it was diving a little further to the south. But you see, when we start off this is right now roughly, it's not even on the screen, right? So we got the continental US here. We still have, it's still got to really swing down, right? And see how it develops here. So it's not even, that feature is not even in the range of any of our soundings or anything in the continental US that may be integrated into our models. So um, there's still some uncertainty here. But you can see what looks like maybe also a disturbance in the mid levels or low levels here. See the low pressure there? Yeah, so we have like this is a low that develops on the lee side of the Rockies here. See that little mid-level feature? That's like the seedling for looks like what develops offshore here, right? So interesting evolution. So pretty interesting in meteorology. I know this is in the weeds. I appreciate y'all taking time to look. Um, and this is really we don't have any other short range model guidance except for the HRRR, which only goes out maximum 48 hours. And I don't trust the Rufus model. It's out to lunch, I think, with its solution. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. So what's your latest European show? Well, we'll start this off Thursday evening, Friday morning. We got maybe some snow and energy moving through the Appalachians here, right? Nothing really apparent on the surface at the surface. And then we got a thumping of snow here, generally Saturday, in the Appalachians here in North Carolina, parts of South Carolina, Tennessee, and along the North Carolina here, right? And as we move through time with this towards Sunday, Saturday night, heavy snow developing here, moderate to heavy snow, North Carolina, South Carolina, and as the low moves to the north here, maybe really intense snow band developing as this low deepens here. And you notice it has another low offshore here, but this is already showing a 974 millibar low, right? That's pretty intense here. So 970 really intensifies here, right offshore of let me just Cape Hatteras here. So potential for some heavy snow right there. Okay, and maybe parts of northern New England into Maine may be getting something, but it looks like, at least from all the model guides I can see this morning, that the Northeast at the most will get, and Mid-Atlantic might get some light snow, but if you consider North Carolina, the Mid-Atlantic, maybe Virginia coast, Maryland coast, maybe southern New Jersey, Delaware here, might get some snow and light snow further inland. As far as Georgia goes, at least according to European here, the highest Excuse me, the highest probabilities of snow, at least right now, are, eastern Georgia here. More like northeastern Georgia to eastern Georgia. Southeast Georgia not likely to get anything here. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper in each of these models, a little bit with the meteorology here. This is a 700 millibar relative humidity, and the National Weather Service in Peachtree City discussed this yesterday. This is really what's modulating our the moisture at 700 millibars is modulating where the snow will fall here. See the 700 millibar low, which is between 580, between 500 and 850. So kind of the low to mid levels of the atmosphere here. And see the deeper purples here are the higher moisture values. That's where the most likelihood of snow is here. And it's all dependent on where this 700 millibar low tracks, right? Further south, you want more moisture moving further south, but you can see where that is, right? In the browns, not much moisture at all, right? Very low values. See what happens here. You got the 700 millibar low, it kind of fills in, and then see how the 700 millibar low and the low at the surface starts developing right offshore here, right? It translates the energy moves pretty quickly offshore here. See that? So, um, kind of moves there. And see how the energy just transfers here, right? And that's where you got your heaviest snowfall, okay? With that, right along the shoreline here. See the moisture behind it. The moisture field is quite dry. And that moves to the north. And it kind of swings a little bit, swings around here. See the low wants to translate maybe directly north here, but it misses the benchmark for a real intense nor'easter here. So at least with this run. So that's why you're getting this band of snow right along the coast here. So a little bit deeper dive into that. Pretty interesting setup here. So yeah, that's the European. So this is the Euro AI, and we're comparing most of the major models here, right? And this is starting, let's see, 1800. Pretty similar initial conditions here, but you see the surface low develop offshore here and really get cranking. And you see the moisture fields, right, in North Carolina, South Carolina, which lends confidence to a heavy snow in this area, right? Less confidence further south into the north here. And the European AI really wants to develop this band right along like Cape Hatteras here. Pretty intense band, in fact, right? And clips the north New England coast here as well. And Spear is pretty much the northeast, maybe the mid-Atlantic getting some stuff here right along the coast, some snow. But Spear is the northeast, at least for this event. So we'll go over the 700 millibar here as well. So we look at the 700 millibar low moving through here, right? This is Saturday about 1 o'clock. Okay. See how it is a little further to the north here, right? With its pass through the south. You see the moisture fields where they're at. Okay. When you have these dark browns, very dry, 700 millibars, so not much chance of precip here. And it translates to the northeast. You see that's where your surface low is too, right? Roughly. Okay. And the heaviest moisture, all right, right along the east Cape Hatteras here, and then the low moves to the north. See how it clips the New England coastline here as well. So still quite a bit of uncertainty, especially when we get further out, how far west this goes. So, but for the south, where this 700 millibar low tracks is very important for moisture. So further south, the more further south we get moisture into Georgia, and further south the snow could be. So we'll just have to see the short range models, what they think too as well. So as a GFS, starting off about Friday afternoon, right around 1 o'clock, band of snow, kind of similar to what the European was showing. You can see you got precip already breaking out here along North Carolina, South Carolina, and it swings through here. Not as quite as intense further south here, but mostly eastern Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and the coast, right? Really cranks up, similar to the European in general, right? And then this other low kind of translates upward, and it doesn't go nearly as far north. Kind of multiple low-level centers here moving around, at least according to this model. So, um, yeah, so still some uncertainty among the globals, exactly positioning, things like that. So, um, so, so yeah, I'm gonna go dive deeper into this one as well at 700 millibars to look at the moisture fields here. So this is a GFS at 700 millibars, and we looked at this with the European, right? You see how the mid-level low is kind of strung out here, 700 millibar low. It really gets a almost negative tilt, if you will, here, right? And you see where the moisture fields are. Let's switch to the east here, get a little bit closer look. See how it's a little bit further to the north and east with the moisture field here. So that dictates where you, where your heaviest snow will be. And that moves up to the north and east. You see how it translates offshore here, just like the other ones. Now the European, and moves off to the north, northeast. So, oh yeah, a similar evolution, but subtle differences even in the globals here is what's driving where the heaviest precip amounts are. And we still have a couple days tomorrow and part of Saturday to figure this out. But now we're getting in range of the short range models. Hopefully we'll get some more clarity on this today. So this is the AIGFS, really showing a similar solution to start with. 1800 Friday, 30 January, right? You get a thumping of snow offshore here, not offshore, along in North Carolina, parts of Georgia and South Carolina. Remember, it doesn't show the precip type here, okay? And it just, this intense band just misses the outer banks here, okay? So at least with AIGFS, it's further to the east with that low center, all right? So that's going to dictate where the heaviest band is, and it moves out to the north here. And when we look at relative at 700 millibars, let's see what it looks like here. Yeah, the AIGFS really dives at 700 millibar low a lot further to the south here, right? And this is initialized 0Z. Let's just make sure we don't have a more recent run here. No, too early, right? So we have that initial band of snow move through there. You see where the moisture field's set up. The 700 millibar low is pretty far to the south here as compared to the other models, right? Translates offshore, but see how it's further offshore here. So these subtle differences make all the difference in the world when it comes where the most intense snow bands are going to be, right? And this one, this AIGFS, like I said, wants to take this more to the northeast and out to sea, then less impacts to the eastern seaboard. So what's this Canadian show? Pretty much starting at the same time here, 1800 Zulu, 1 p.m. Eastern, right? Snowfall really starts going here. And this solution once developed snow all into southern Georgia, um, with bullseye here in parts of eastern Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, along the South Carolina coast here. Wants to develop this low pretty far south here, more intense band further south than most other models have it here. And then wants to really develop another low further to the north here and maybe clip the New England coastline. Kind of an interesting scenario if this plays out. So what's driving this? Let's look at 700 millibars here. So starting 1 p.m., 700 millibar. It really wants to drop this low further south. You see where the moisture fields are, almost down to the Florida coastline. Enhanced moisture, not enhanced, but high moisture levels at the this level with the cold air was really bringing snow pretty far south here. A very southern solution. See where the low is developing down here. Interesting if this plays out, but you know, it's a very good way to look at both different the surface and 700 millibars here. So that's why, at least one reason, at least when you look at the two different parameters, the snow falls further south here. And then it moves to the north. See, it has like a double barreled low here. And then maybe hits the northern England coastline here. So quite a varied solutions among the globals. So we'll have to see, I guess. And, you know, we'll keep on keeping on with this and give you the best possible forecast with the information we have. When we look at the day 8 to 14 U.S. hydro outlook, this is the value, excuse me, valid February 5th to 11, 2026. No hazards expected here in the continental U.S., maybe in Alaska the 5th through the 7th. All right. Snowfall, no risk of heavy snow posted right as of right now. Like I said, this is valid the 5th through the 11th of 2026. High winds, slight risk here along the eastern seaboard, mid-Atlantic, northeast into northern New England. The 6th to the 9th and the 5th to the 7th here in southern Alaska. Cold temps look to persist here along the eastern seaboard, in parts of the High Valley and Midwest and Northeast here, the 7th through the 11th here. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get away from this cold weather till the middle of the month. I guess we'll see, but at least that's what it's looking like right now. When it comes to the 8 to 14 day precip outlook, what we're looking at, well, pretty much the central part of the country all the way to the eastern seaboard and points north and south here, looking below normal precip chances through the extended period here, with above normal chances to the north and to the south here, with near normal chances in between. All right, and above to near normal chances in these areas in Alaska. All of Hawaii looking to be at least leaning above normal to slightly above normal chances, and above the near normal Aleutian Island chain as far as precip goes. And there's your 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. You know, warm out west, maybe warming up slightly in northern U.S., eastern U.S. remaining below normal, although the chances of below normal temps are a little less, a little not as high as they have been, but this trend is continuing the 3rd through the 7th here, and near normal to above normal in Alaska, above normal in Hawaii, and near normal to above in the Aleutian Island chain. When it comes to precip, looking like below normal chances of precip along the eastern seaboard, out west here, parts of the Midwest, now the plains here, excuse me, in the Midwest and in the gray areas here, excuse me, near normal to above and points south and points north here. Most of Alaska above, Hawaii looking trending above, and near normal to above in Aleutian Island chain. When it comes to the 8 to 14 day precip outlook, what we're looking at, well, pretty much the central part of the country all the way to the eastern seaboard and points north and south here, looking below normal precip chances through the extended period here, with above normal chances to the north and to the south here, with near normal chances in between. All right, and above to near normal chances in these areas in Alaska. All of Hawaii looking to be at least leaning above normal to slightly above normal chances, and above the near normal Aleutian Island chain as far as precip goes. So I wanted to close the video by saying thanks for watching. stay safe out there. In addition to snow, we're going to have extreme cold this weekend for the south, and that's where a lot of my viewers are. So I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a good day, and God bless.